G'day, g'day, g'day. And it looks like it's just going to be me today. On my own. Nobody's come to join me live. But that's alright. I've had days like this before in the past. I'm sure I'll have them again in the future. I'll stream to myself. I'll go through MMA Twitter. And I'll just ramble for an hour myself. Oh, what's up, Nacho? Good to see you, mate. Looks like it's going to be just you and me. Going to be a bloody intimate bit of a bloody stream today, mate. Looks like it's just going to be you and me. Oh, well. It is what it is. I guess I'm getting less interesting as time goes on. Lucky I don't do big 3 or 4 hour streams, eh? Otherwise, no one would want to come and hang out with me. What's up, Thrill House? How are you, dude? Hope everyone's having a good day. Your music is still going. Oh my god, thank you. I needed that. That would kick Nacho out of here real quick. Oh my god, Nacho would be gone. There we go. Music's done. It's just me and my microphone. Hope everyone's day. Let's go. The music got me hyped. Good on you, Kyle. I'm happy you like the music. I know a lot of people hate it. But I persist because I don't just quit. You know, I stick to something for a couple of months and then I quit. We might change the music up a little bit. How are you guys? I hope everyone's having a good day. The weather here is bloody gorgeous. Me and Jamie went out on the canoe. Tried to go and look for some dolphins. Nothing's out there. Didn't even see a starfish this time. It was weirdly quiet out on the water. It wasn't even seaweed out there. I guess it's just one of those days. No one wants to come and hang out with me in the chat. No animals want to come and hang out with me in the water. This is what happens. But anyway, boys, I thought that we could go through something pretty fun today. Which would be, what changes do you guys want to see in the UFC in 2025? Paradox, I don't know how drunk you are, and considering that it's probably 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning where you are, mate, this doesn't make any sense. This seems like you've allowed a cat to scramble along the keyboard and just button smush. But that's alright. This is a list for you guys to make. I thought in the spirit of the list, I would just get 2 things on there to kick it off and get it started. Just to get us warmed up and get our juices flowing. It's only 2 a.m. Well, that's all right. That's all right. Cage said, how are you, Cage? What's good, mate? How did you enjoy my roasted pig last night? Looked pretty good, didn't it, dude? Can you grow your beard out and cut it the Dagestani way in support of Umar at UFC 311? And how much are we willing to rustle up? Because I think I could rock the Dagestani look. I'm not going to lie to you, mate. I reckon I could pull it off. I reckon I could probably pull it off. Depends. How much money are we going to give me to shave my mustache? Because I got one of those thick Serbian mustaches that even when you shave it, I've always got 5 o'clock shadow. No matter what. No matter what you do to it, I got 5 o'clock shadow. Not 900 tips to the Middle East. I miss when these fight nights in Poland, Sweden. Okay, we could chuck that on the list for sure. For sure. Let me get that up on the list for you, mate. No more. But they do pay the most money. I think we only go to the Middle East like 5 times a year. But we'll go less Middle Eastern cards. We'll chuck that one on there as well. We'll talk about that. We'll break that down as the chat slows down a little bit. Thrill House! But that's on the back end there, mate. When I bring that screen back up. Yeah, good cut of pork. It was a delicious cut of pork, mate. I'm not going to lie. We screwed it up. It was too dry in the middle, and the crackling, there was too much sugar in the crackling. It like burnt the outside of the crackling. It wouldn't break. It was pretty bad. Second man come from under the ring with a chair if the fighter is down for at least... What's up, Raw Dog Randy? How are you, dude? Have a second man come up from under the ring with a chair. Let us switch back over to this. Have a second man come from under the ring with a chair if the fight is down at least 2 rounds. So you've got Colby Covington in there with Joaquin Buckley. Buckley is beating the absolute piss out of Colby Covington. And then in the 3rd round, Chael Sonnen just jumps up. I can't let you get close! And smashes a chair over Buckley. I like that. That would definitely make the sport a little bit more interesting, that's for sure. I can't even give you my full attention at the moment because of work. It's one of those days, I think. It's just one of those days, Nacho. It's all good, man. We'll take it easy. We'll screw around a little bit. You're back to work early. I'm not back to work until Monday. You're back to work early. Take it easy out there, Nacho. Why does my pick have a blue dot? Is it anti-copyright? Why does my pick have a blue dot? Is it anti-copyright or something? No, dude. It's inverted. It's inverted. On the big screen, it's inverted. So that way the white is black and the black is white, and that way it sits nicely on the background. Yeah, dude. I will do 50 Australian dollars for the Dagestani beard. Take it or leave it. I'll leave it. We're gonna have to triple or quadruple those numbers for me to try and get a Dagestani beard going. What tier list have you come? What's up, Sniff? How are you, brother? What's up, Bilal's good eye? How are you, man? It's not so much of a tier list. It's more of let's screw around and break down some ideas of things that need to change in 2025. Sniffathan. That's what we're going to be going with. So far, someone has suggested that Chael Sonnen pops up if your fighter is down 2 rounds and hits someone over the back of the head with a metal chair. And less Middle Eastern cuts. So, standard MMA stuff. What is the likelihood that the UFC gets a Netflix contract? I think pretty goddamn high. Netflix have realized that it costs a lot of money to bring out a brand new show every single year. Not just a brand new show, but a lot of new content every single year. And you'll notice with Netflix as well, a lot of shows don't go past 2 seasons because they aren't worth making. They don't have a return on investment past 2 seasons. So what Netflix has figured out is that there is endless content when it comes to live sports. So they are looking to push into it a lot. And with how successful Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was, I know they didn't stream it properly, but they seem to be streaming the NFL season pretty successfully. With how well that is going for Netflix, I think there's a very, very high chance that Netflix are going to throw a stupid amount of money at the UFC. And that you'll see things like the Contender Series and Tough on maybe ESPN or on different platforms. Maybe you'll see the Contender Series on Amazon Prime. But yeah, I would say there's probably about an 80% chance that will be on Netflix next year. I think there will probably still be pay-per-views within Netflix. I work from home and I can choose whatever hours I want. It's pretty chill, not very high paying, but it's, hey dude, working from home is the absolute dream. The absolute dream. So get into it. What's up, Two Smelly Fingers? How are you, brother? That I just saw that on Discord before I came across. Mangled, mate. Mangled. Now that is an excuse. I don't know what Colby Covington's talking about, but yours was absolutely mangled. What's up, DJ Aiden, the boss? I'll see you again in 15 minutes. I know you're going to leave the stream and then pop back in and say the boss is back. But it's good to see you, DJ Aiden. How are you, dude? How are you? Mangled, Two Smelly Fingers. So, the Apex. The Apex is one of those things that needs to go in 2025. I know we're going to say this every single year, but it either needs to go, or here's the thing, right? Either the Apex needs to go, or they need to actually start getting some seating in there. Like, there needs to be a vibe in there. Because I think what the UFC proved to us with that Rose Namajunas card towards the end of the year is that they'll put on a shit fight night no matter what. Like, a Canada card is a shit fight night. If they haven't been to a region in a long time, then they will quite happily put on a shit fight night card. So I don't think the Apex is the cause of shit fight nights, but we need a crowd in there. We need a crowd of 10,000. Can you fit 10,000? What is a standard, like, basketball crowd? 7,000? 700? 7,000? 700? We need a crowd in there. Big crowd. We need a crowd. We got to fix the Apex. Because the Apex, it's kind of dead. It's kind of quiet. You can't have number 1 contender fights happening inside the Apex. It just sucks all the vibe out of the room. So something needs to fucking happen with the Apex. And I think the idea is a crowd. People think that it's the fact that we have the Apex, they're putting on shit fights. It's got nothing to do with the Apex. They'll put on shit fights anywhere. What's up, Toad? How are you, brother? All the failed unranked light heavyweights are moving up. Well, this is something else that I was thinking about, Toad. Heavyweight and light heavyweight need to be folded into one division. They need to be folded into one division, and it doesn't matter if you've got... It doesn't matter about the scale. There should be that BMI machine. And if you're over 22% body fat, you shouldn't be allowed to compete at all. At all. At all. If there's not the top ab poking through, 21, 22% body fat, you shouldn't be allowed to compete. You should be kicked off to Cage Warriors, and Cage Warriors should be used as a feeder organization. Sniff says, DJ Aiden, since you are the boss, Sniff would like a raise. Please see Sniff on his live stream after this and donate heavily to him. He needs a raise. Nacho said, Dana said he's putting heaps of money into renovating it. He said he's turning it into a mini sphere. The Apex? I knew that he was putting money into renovating the Apex, but I didn't hear that he was thinking about turning it into like a mini Sphere. That is kind of crazy. Although, with what Dana likes to do, I wouldn't be surprised if that's how far he's going to push the Apex. But the Apex, I guess we could really surmise this as like, it's just something's got to happen with it. Something has got to happen with it because we can't keep doing this bullshit week in, week out crap at the Apex. And I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but in one of my old videos, I pointed out that in 2016, obviously well before we had the Apex, the UFC put on, what was it? It was 47 events throughout the entire year. And then in 2023, the UFC put on 48 events throughout the entire year. The Apex is not leading to more Fight Nights cards. It's just leading to a lack of quality. But I honestly believe that with what happened with Canada and whatever city or state it happened in where Rose Namajunas was the co-main event or the main event, they are testing out just putting on shit Fight Night cards in regions they haven't been to in 10 years. And just knowing that the fans will buy tickets and show up no matter what. Hot take. The Apex is good. It's cool hearing the shots connect. They just need better cards. I agree, Bilal. It's not necessarily what the building is. It's them not trying in it. But I do think that something needs to change within the Apex because being able to hear the shots, and what I really enjoy about the Apex is being able to hear the corners between fights really, really clearly. I like that about the Apex. But it's missing something. And I think what it's missing is the fact that the UFC aren't really trying with it. So there's something about the Apex that needs to change. Sniff says, how about one of those AI walking drones to replace the refs who to continually ignore the back of the head shot? I mean, they might as well just take the ref out of it and just have a set of yellow and red lights. There's almost no need to have a referee in there now because the referee doesn't seem to do anything. What about this one, Sniff? What's the issue with Middle Eastern cards? I like having events with no WMMA. Ask Thrill House, mate. Thrill House wanted it thrown on the list. I personally like the Middle Eastern cards. The only thing I don't like about them is the time zone. I hate the time zone about the Middle Eastern cards, although I might switch that up this year if the channel gets a little bit more ramped up. I might switch that up this year and start watching the Middle Eastern cards with you guys live, even though that means I have to get up at 2 a.m. in the goddamn morning, which sucks for me because I have to go back to working a trade job the following Monday, and that's 2 a.m. in the morning on a Sunday. That's not great, but I'll think about doing it this year. But I don't have a problem with the Middle Eastern cards because they pay the UFC so much money. The UFC can actually afford to put some big stars and some big names on the cards, and we end up having stacked Fight Night cards. And like you were saying, there's no WMMA on Middle Eastern cards. So to me, apart from the time zone of it, it's win-win-win. And even with the time zone of it, because I sleep in and I don't watch it live, that means I can wake up in the morning and watch through it at a good pace. Skip through all the talking shit, skip through all the quiet time down in the middle, and actually just hang out and watch them. The smacks are nice, but the cheers get the fighters going. Yep. Nacho says, I disagree. The crowd always makes events way more. Yeah, the fighters bounce off a crowd. The fighters absolutely bounce off a crowd, which is why I think, like, if you could put a crowd in the Apex of a couple of thousand people, 3,000 people, a couple of thousand people, if you could put them in the Apex and really get that energy bouncing off the fighters, it would make some of those weird, crazy fights that we see turn into a little bit more bloodbath. Because right now it does feel like with the Apex, the fighters are just getting their 3-fight UFC contracts, rocking up to work, and just trying to get a W on paper however they can. They feel sometimes like they're glorified sparring sessions instead of like, this is meant to be the most brutal fighting organization in the world, you know? That's what it feels like. The smacks are nice, but the cheers get the fighters go. Exactly, Two Smelly Fingers. Exactly, man. You need the cheers in there from the crowd to like rev the fighters up, dude. Toad says that the next Apex card is just a Dana White's Contender Series. Yeah, and we've seen that before. That's the problem. Like, it feels like we've got the UFC right now is set up into like tiers or rankings where you have KSW, Cage Warriors, Eternal. These are almost like Dana White Contender Series feeder systems. And then when you're on the Dana White Contender Series, that feeds you into the UFC Apex. And the UFC Apex right now, it feels like what we have in my state called the VFL, which is that league just before you get into the AFL. It feels almost like college MMA. Like that the Apex feels like you're just about to get into the real UFC proper, which is crowded events and pay-per-views. Sniff says, okay, check this out. What's up, Dumblaw420? How are you, brother? Good to see you, man. That's a great profile picture. Cage, is that a hummingbird? It's a dove, because Cage is a man of peace. Okay, check this out. For the Apex, only have a few celebrity spectators offend so we can hear... Oh, okay. So make it a true, like, money club. So only the celebrities can go there. Then we know who they're cheering for, and then we actually know who's based and who isn't. Very exclusive. Are you part of the Illuminati, Sniff? You're probably a Mason, aren't you, mate? You're reeking of Masonic intent here, brother. What's up, Dougie? Thoughts on Ilia Atapurio? I love him. I think he's one of the best fighters in the UFC at the moment. I think he's the second or third best fighter, pound for pound, ranked in the world. I'd like to see him stay at featherweight, put together a few decent title contenders, and have a sort of GSP, Anderson Silva-esque run, Jose Aldo-esque, Dominic Cruz-esque run, the kind of run that we haven't seen since early MMA. That's what I would like to see from Ilia Tapurio. This one here, taking a goddamn point straight away. I think this is one thing that we actually can see realistically. The UFC, actually, all this is pretty... This one isn't realistic. This one is just for fun. This one isn't realistic. Less Middle Eastern cards. I think we're going to see way more Middle Eastern cards, but these are very realistic. This one here, taking a goddamn point straight away. I don't understand why this one hasn't been implemented. Like, the first warning has already been given to the fighters in the back room before they come to step out to fight. This idea of like Chris Weidman getting 10 or 12 eye pokes and then eventually being like, that's it, this is your last warning, is retarded. Just give them tell John Jones and Chris Weidman that when we walk out to that cage, if you are jousting with your fingers and there is an eye poke, I will fucking take a point straight away. And after the first fight night, Dern versus Ribas 2, after the first fight night of this actually being implemented, then we will see the fighters start to retract their fingers and we won't need new fucking gloves and all this bullshit. Just take a goddamn point straight away. Straight away. No fucking around. Kyle says, what's up, Kyle? I'm smoking a joint, drinking a pre-workout, and watching Dougie's Corner before I go to the gym. Life is good. Nice, brother. Nice, man. This is the same product that Robert Whittaker uses, or at least is sponsored by. He probably doesn't use it. He probably uses steroids. But nice, man. Nice. About to get a gym session in. Beautiful. I had a gym session this morning. Did back and buys. Classic end of the week feel good before I went to the gym session. It was great. Eye pokes should immediately be a point taken. Yeah, dude. Absolutely they should. They should. Why do we allow cheating in the sport? I don't know. It's very, very, very strange. And it's not even for like selected fighters. It's just for everyone. Like if I was an MMA fighter, all MMA fighters really should, the moment they get into the cage, kick someone in the nuts, poke them in the eye, and if they go to the ground, you should hit them to the back of the head as hard as you can, because you essentially get one foul of each of the rules straight away. And you should grab the cage. You should be grabbing the cage non-stop until the fight actually gets taken down. And here's the other thing, right? Once you actually win a fight via cheating, nobody gives a fuck. They don't give a fuck if it's a robbery. They don't give a fuck if you won via cheating. They do not give a fuck. Look at Cyril Gane. We are all openly talking about how it's going to be Cyril Gane versus Tom Aspinall. That was clearly a robbery. It doesn't matter. Cyril Gane, we're just going to pretend that Cyril Gane won that fight. How many fights have we seen where the person cheated their way to a win, Chris Weidman, and because he's got the W on his name next to Tapology, we just move on like nothing happened? The next Saudi card is fire, and I won't have to illegally stream it. So it's like I like Middle Eastern fight. Let's bloody squeeze out a poll on this. Let me know, chat. What do you reckon? Middle Eastern fight night cards. I honestly rather enjoy them. The only thing I hate about them, like I said, is the time zone. And even then with the time zone, it doesn't bother me that much because I just watch it back in the morning when I wake up. And I skip through all the ads and all the bullshit preamble happening back at the desk. So really, I don't mind the Middle Eastern fight night cards. It doesn't bother me at all. And either way, the judging is kind of fucked. It's kind of fucked in the West. It's fucked in the East. The judging is fucked wherever we go. So I don't think it's any worse having it in the Middle East than anywhere else. But let me know. Kyle says, I wish that I could afford steroids. They were great for powerlifting a couple of years back. Helped me get a 297 kilo deadlift. Nice, dude. Yeah, they are fucking expensive. Very, very fucking expensive. But overall, not good for you. You know what I mean? I woke up like my heart beating through my goddamn chest, sweating. I was like, this isn't worth it. I don't need this. Especially if you are a guy they want to push. Then you can do like 3 of each. Don't blame people for cheating when it's hardly ever... Especially if you're a guy that you... Right, we're talking about cheating in the cage, not steroids. Okay. Especially if you're a guy they want to push, like say a Sean O'Malley or something, then you can do 3 of each. I don't blame people for cheating when it's hardly ever... This is the thing. I don't know if it even is cheating when the rules are never enforced. I get it. Like on paper, obviously it's cheating. On paper it is cheating, right? But they never, ever, ever enforce the rule set. So what do you expect people to do, Cage? It's that perfect Sean O'Malley versus Piotr Jan sort of an issue. Like, Sean O'Malley is that next up-and-coming guy, so they're going to let him grab the cage as many times as they want. It's the Leon Edwards era to get past Kamaru Usman. They're in England. They're going to let him cheat as much as you want. I wonder if the refs get a talking to backstage. I don't think they do, too smiley fan. That's the thing, man. It happens so often, and it's such an easy fix that I don't think they do get a speaking to, man. Kyle says, Middle Eastern fight nights are good for the sport. They're free on ESPN. We always get great fights, and since they're free with great fights, it's good exposure for the sport. Though the refs are not great, the judges, not the refs. Well, this is the thing, Kyle. The refs and the judges aren't great no matter where we go. So you get all those positives that you just stated there, with a couple of the negatives being that the judges aren't as good. But the judges are dog shit everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, Sal D'Amato is a American judge. He's on every single American fight night card. And he fucks up more than anybody. More than anybody. So either way, at least you're getting good cards when you're going to have shit judging anyway, right? The only problem is the crowd is dead, but it's nowhere near as bad as the Brazilian. Well, here's the other thing, right, Toad? You got the dead crowd, but like you said, you have the dead crowd in Brazil anyway, but you also have no crowd at the Apex. So if we're going to have 5 fight nights in Saudi Arabia, I'm happy to have that if we're going to have less fights at the Apex. And when you can only fit in 47 fight nights throughout the entire year, when you can only fit that many in, I'd rather have 5 or 6 over at Saudi Arabia and more around the rest of the world and start to cut down on the Apex. So that doesn't bother me at all either. What's up, everybody? What's up, Aaron Tats? What's up, Alan? What's up, Not the AM, bro? It's good to see you, boys. I'll catch up with your chats in a minute. I hope you're doing good, guys. I hope you're having a good day. It was really close. Glad Aspinall doesn't have to fight Volkov again. What's up, Coach Nate? How are you, brother? I hope you're doing good, man. That is a wide back, sir. Speaking of steroids, looking good. Coach Nate with the thickest back on YouTube says, it was really close. Glad Aspinall doesn't have to fight Volkov again. We know how that goes down again. Jones doesn't fight Aspinall. He can KO Cyril or sub him, pushing him further ahead of Jones. So it's interesting, dude, because you've said, I'm glad that Aspinall doesn't have to fight Volkov again. And then you've just said that Aspinall is going to KO Cyril Gane or sub him, pushing him even further ahead. So you know which way that the Aspinall-Cyril Gane one is going to go either way. I guess that way, all you're getting is more legacy added to Tom Aspinall, which he definitely needs at heavyweight. It's all about just accruing names and championship defenses at this point. An upcoming Rainbow Head free. What's up, Not the Aim, bro? Good to see you. Good to see you, Alex. Very true about the judges being shit everywhere. Thank you, Kyle. I need some UFC right now more than Diddy needs baby oil. Oh my God. Don't we all? Don't we all? But there's only about a week to go, right? Next fight night's the 11th. There's only about a week to go. How are you, Alex? What are the odds we see a Paul bro compete in the UFC? Pretty low. Pretty low. It would have to be Logan because obviously Jake is signed with the PFL. But not impossible. You know, we saw CM Punk and obviously Brock Lesnar come over and compete in the UFC. Pretty low. I would say probably 40% chance. Although I will say, right now, I believe there is about an 80% chance that we see Conor McGregor fight Logan Paul in the UFC in Conor McGregor fight Logan Paul in boxing in India in 2025. I would predict there's about an 80% chance of that happening. It just all lines up too well, especially for Dana White, the UFC. It lines up fucking beautifully for them as well. Conor McGregor's image is ruined, and the UFC get to protect their image while still getting a cut of Conor McGregor's purse. And if the cut is $250 million to Conor McGregor, I would imagine that Dana White and the UFC are getting 30% as a managerial fee for helping him book it. Yeah. Without Saudi, Izzy Imavov would be on a pay-per-view I would have to watch on some scuffed site. Yeah, that's true, Toad. Yeah, true. No, I think it's good for the sport. I think it's good for the sport. It's weird that the sport ended up with... How many people voted on this poll? Because I do know that we have Paradox the chat in here. 18 votes. How many people are actually watching this stream? I bet there's a lot less than 18 people watching this stream right now. So, no, that's... Okay, that lines up. All right. Interesting. Let me read everyone's chats. Hova. Where are we? That's true. That's true, Toad. At least it's going to be a fight night card, and that's because they're paying for it. Okay. Dumont420 said, bro, Benny MMA just fucking banned me for saying that I'm a... Why would he ban you for that? That doesn't make any sense, dude. I'm sorry to hear that. Bunny MMA, come on, man. Be more based. It's the MMA YouTube. Come on, let's go. Coach Nate with the Viking, with that Viking horseman bat. I know, right? Have you seen all of the fights that were announced today? I've seen some of them. Which ones are standing out to you, Aaron? Let me know. Some coaches probably tell their fighters to cheat. They should, Paradox the chat. They absolutely fucking should, mate. I mean, why not? You're going to get a couple of freebies, so take them. Nate could barely fit his back in the picture. It is wide and girthy. They do, for a fact, Paradox, I know that it happened. Oh, Cage. Name and shame. What fighters do you know? I think Logan would surprise some people. I think both the Paul brothers would surprise some people. I think both of them would. Wrestling is a very, very big part of MMA, and they've both got a little bit of wrestling. They did wrestling in high school, I believe. Plus, obviously, plus Jake is an amateur boxer. You know, he is an amateur boxer. So I think he will surprise people. I always said that I think if Jake Paul fought Nate Diaz in the PFL, I think Jake Paul beats Nate Diaz. In 2025, I think Jake Paul beats Nate Diaz. I think he lays and prays. I might do a video on cheating being pretty much legal in MMA. Do it, Paradox the chat. Do it. Do it now. Do it. He's already the greatest heavyweight skill-wise. Ngannou ran out of the letters. Just needs some more. Yeah. He is. I think he is too. But I think he's got to get that on paper. You know, I think he's clearly the most devastating force in MMA heavyweight that we have ever seen when it comes to skill for skill. Takedowns, jiu-jitsu, knockout power, boxing. Tom Aspinall has it all. But now it's time to get past where Stipe Miocic was and to start going for that Fedor Emelianenko legacy. Gay time with Dougie. Let's fucking go. What's up, Kenny Ripper? You bloody fucking Ripper, mate. How are you, dude? Good to see you, man. I'm watching. All right, Aaron Tats. Coach Nate walks through doors sideways. Yeah, until his dick slaps the fucking doorway. I can fit through doors sideways. I can't fit through doors sideways. My gut is too big. Cage. Please, God, go on a diet. I'm worried about your health, Cage. I've seen the photos from the webcam. It's disgusting. To be fair, Bunny MMA is the least toxic person in the MMA community. No, I've seen some of his shit. He's a good bloke. Shout out to Bunny MMA. He's grinding away. I like him, mate. Charles Johnson versus Timiro. Charles Johnson's back again. Fucking good on him, mate. Jake is a cheating steroid abuser. Yes, not the AM bro, but... do not forget this one, mate. Right? all the guys that are probably on steroids. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of guys that are probably on steroids. Name and sub Nate Diaz. Name a sub, and Nate Diaz can hit it on Jake Paul. Here's the thing, right, Toad? I think Jake Paul can muscle his way out of it. I think he can muscle his way out of it. He'll be on steroids. He'll be bigger, heavier, stronger. I think he'll be able to muscle his way out of it. Jake does beat Nate in 2025. He has the boxing and the wrestling, probably the best base for an MMA fight. That's what I think, Kyle. And I know it's a super, super unpopular opinion, but I think in 2025, Jake Paul beats Nate Diaz. And this is an important part of the question. In the PFL, that means they're going to let Jake Paul cheat. You know they're going to let Jake Paul use steroids. And Nate is very vegan. Very, very vegan. I know he's not vegan during his training camps, but he's still got that vegan body. Cage says that Jake Paul is a future combat sports GOAT. Maybe. I hate it. Everyone beats Nate Diaz when you think about it. He's just really skilled at getting beat up. And he's like a white chick who dates the brothers. Okay, Sniff. Fucking hell, mate. Why do I not learn to read Sniff's chats first? Anyway, let's move on. Jake gets taken down and subbed fast. I don't think he does, Aaron. I don't think he does, dude. I think you're thinking of 2015 Nate Diaz. Rippin' Wax called Metaverse today. Kenny Ripper, I don't know what anything you've just said is, but it sounds fun. I hope you enjoy it. Cage confirmed. Who's not the aim, bro? I don't think Volk is on the gear. He was super critical of Ortega taking PEDs using cardio. The cardio makes me think Volk is on the gear. This is the gear tier list we did sometime last year. Makes me feel like Volk is on the gear. The cardio is so good. Whaley Zhang, John Jones, Conor McGregor on the gear. Khabib was on the gear. Edson Barboza is absolutely on the gear. There's Dougie. There's Max Holloway. Yeah, made me really question it. Yeah. What's up, Isaac? How are you, dude? Doesn't matter since Jake Paul's knows literally zero BJJ. I don't think he does, dude. Here's the thing. I don't think he knows a lot of offensive jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you could put him at a Fight Pass Invitational and he'd win. I don't think that at all. But I do believe that Jake Paul isn't a fucking idiot. I don't think he's an idiot at all. I think he's really planned out his career carefully. And I think there's a reason he signed with the PFL now over a year ago, and it's going to take him another year to fight. 2 years to get ready to fight. And I believe that in 2 years, knowing that you're going to do MMA, you will learn enough defensive jiu-jitsu to stay safe when you are in top position. I truly believe that. And learn enough defensive wrestling to fight the hands when someone's got a rear naked choke on you. I think you could pick that up in 2 years, enough to survive Nate Diaz if you were Jake Paul. It's all respect, Coach Nate. My back is built like the hunchback of Notre Dame. Start doing pull-ups too, smelly fingers. Isaac says, don't like fats. Too bad, Isaac. The fats are here and we respect them. Oh, it's a lot of fun, Dougie. Sounds very zesty. Very, very zesty. Nate is frail. Jake is too big. The fight would be at middleweight and Jake would TKO him. That's what Chat is absolutely fucking cooked with this one. You got... Yog, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Chat is... I'm going to read everyone's chats. Just, by the way, it takes me a minute to get there, but I will read everyone's chats. Chat is absolutely fucking cooked with this. Who wins in an MMA fight in the PFL? Nate Diaz at 68%. This is the most cooked thing I've ever... I've got to bring this up. Let me just... Hang on a second. This is wrong. I'm sorry, guys, but you are wrong. In 2025. Jake. This might be the most retarded thing I've ever seen. In all of MMA YouTube, this is probably the most retarded thing I've ever seen you guys say. That, we're going to read some chats and then we're going to get back to this and argue about this. This is the most retarded thing I've ever seen. I'll read you chats and then we'll get back to this. You guys have really, really, really cooked that one. The metaverse sent me to the metaverse. Kenny, I don't know what you're talking about, but enjoy it. Thanks, Genetics. Still saying no to roids. Everyone is probably on now. USADA is out. Yeah, dude. Honestly, with the in-house testing happening inside the UFC, it's fake. It's fake. They are all on roids now. They are all on roids. I took 2 kilos of tren and now I'm gay. That is how that happens, mate. That is how that goes down. What's up, Portuguese Herzog? How are you, dude? Volk pretended to be angry at Ortega, but he said that he was sorry after the fight. Definitely on Source 2. Great point of evidence. These are the kind of arguments I love the most. Good to see you, Portuguese Herzog. Volk pretended to be angry at Ortega, but he said he was sorry about it after the fight. Definitely on the Source. Yog says, Dougie, can you would let Alexa Grasso give you a foot job poll for the boys? No, Yog. Vault cut from 210-ish. Definitely could be natural. Elite at rugby at 210. He could be natural. It was more the cardio for me. Like, especially when you're a ball of muscle, it's very hard to have that much cardio. But he is a smaller guy, so he could be. Technically, Jake should have to fight Francis Ngannou. Technically, he should. And that one, he'd absolutely lose at. Fuck it, do it again. I think I accidentally voted for Nat. I thought your pointer from the mouse was a gnat on my screen. I tried to smash it with my finger. Damn, dude. I hope your screen's okay. Fucking hell. Can the next poll be for Cage's BMI? It's impossible to have numbers that high. Chat hates your steroid cheating guy, Paul. I know, right? They're retarded. Jake's never popped. Jake Paul is 100% on Source, Cage. Nate Diaz won rounds in boxing, added calf kicks and jiu-jitsu, and Jake Paul would have no idea what to do. I think I gave a pretty clear argument as to why I think Jake Paul would be able to survive that. He won rounds in boxing. So if you add in the calf kicks, is what you're saying here, Toad, it's going to confuse Jake Paul a little bit more. Do you not think the wrestling is going to change things here, Toad? That argument makes no sense. Volk is probably getting himself hyped for the fight. Could have. 2025 Alexa Grasso feet poll today? No. Jake wins on the feet. Nate wins on the ground. People forget, man, Nate is basically a Gracie. I don't think that count. Oh, guys. We've been over this before a lot. Modern wrestling beats jiu-jitsu, especially old school Gracie jiu-jitsu, like fucking Nate Diaz's. Like, you've got to have like killer instincts like Charles Oliveira. Even Charles Oliveira has to use his jiu-jitsu as like part of a finishing sequence, right? So with Jake Paul having top position, steroids, size and strength, raining down over Nate Diaz, the only thing Nate Diaz is going to be able to go for is an armbar, a triangle, or a rear naked choke. But let's say that Jake Paul's on top, raining down ground and pound. Then he's going to go for an armbar or a triangle. Jake Paul is 100% going to be able to muscle himself out of that. 100%. And if Nate Diaz somehow gets the back, what's Nate Diaz going to do? Try and strangle him? Fine. Yeah, of course he is. Rear naked choke. But Jake Paul's he's going to know how to fight the hands. He's going to know how to fight the hands. And then when it comes to being on the feet, Jake won some rounds in boxing, but now we're going to be in the PFL. It's going to be smaller gloves. It's going to be way smaller gloves. Jake Paul's going to be able to handle Nate Diaz's calf kicks, and Jake is going to be able to calf kick Nate Diaz back. And Nate Diaz sucks at defending calf kicks. Fucking sucks at defending calf kicks. So Jake's going to be able to kick him back. Jake wins on the feet. Nate wins on the ground. People forget, man. We covered that. Nate Diaz is a Compton version of a Gracie. Compton. Jake shouldn't take Nate down because Nate would be able to get whatever sub he wants. I don't think he would, dude. I do not think he would. I really can't see it. Cesar Gracie is like this Tony Soprano of the Gracies. Dead. Diaz has shit takedowns and therefore no offensive BJJ threat. Yes, it's a boxing match with small gloves. Easy money for Jake and proves nothing. Diaz never wins. I agree, Coach Back Thickness Nate. I completely agree with you. Diaz is a Gracie of Compton. You've said it again, Kenny. Say it again, mate. Fuck it. Con Gracie Tuaron 2025. Exactly. I'm pure inbred. Stop saying Stockton. Stop it, Kenny, you bloody ripper. Enough, mate. Nate Diaz could also hit a ghillie off the takedown. He could. But ghillies don't work. Ghillies don't work on takedowns anymore. They don't work. When was the last time we saw and don't bring up that time, like 4 months ago, where I was saying they don't work during a live stream, and then some cunt got one sunk in and worked straight away. That was the one time they've worked in the last 10 years. Actually, Paul might get subbed by a triangle against Diaz now that I'm thinking about it. How am I talking chat out of this one? Nate's legs are super frail. Thank you, Nacho, for once agreeing with me, kind of. Nate's legs are super frail, and Nate sucks at defending leg kicks. Dougie's racist towards Americans, to be honest. How and when? Diaz can also go for the butt scooter booger. Stop it, Toad. You are fucking around. Wonder if Cage BA is why Dougie's siding with it. How am I siding with Cage? What have I done now? Clowns don't train. Do some jiu-jitsu. You aren't helpless with a bit of training and athleticism. This is the thing that I'm trying to point out, Coach Nate. He is going to learn enough jiu-jitsu to stay safe against the big submissions, against the rear naked choke, the triangle, and the armbar. They're the three that he needs to watch out for. Jake is going to be in top position, raining down ground and pound. They're the two subs that he needs to watch out for. And then, if there is ever getting back up onto his feet, there's the rear naked choke for Diaz. Fight the hands. Roll into the triangle. Like, an idiot who doesn't train and watches this shit can see the steps to get out of it. Jake Paul, who is a clown and a bit of a cunt, but isn't a moron, will learn these techniques within the 2 years that it's taken for him to actually book an MMA fight, right? Fluffy Hernandez subbed Rodolfo Vieira with a guillotine. Don't know what you're talking about, Aaron Tats. They never work. 4-time world champion, 7-time ADCC. Shut up with your facts and logic, Aaron. Gillies work when your opponent is just some boxer who has never done BJJ. They'll work against some boxer. That was not a real Gilly, and he was super gassed. The way I poo is training. Stop it, Kenny. I don't agree with guillotines being shit. It might be one of my biggest takes. Is that guillotines is shit. I'm not even kidding. Nate via Gogo Plata in shut up. How are you, legendary rename chatter? It's good to see you, man. He's bigger, stronger, and younger. Diaz has always been mid as fuck. Love you, Dougie. No homo. Guru Raid for the win. Thank you, Coach Nate. I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it. And we appreciate the Guru. Nacho, one of the biggest supporters of the channel, came off a lot of the boys came off a Guru Raid. Can I get a pig in chat for the guys who came in here off a Guru Raid over any of the raids that Guru gave me last year? Can we get a pig emoji in the chat, please? Anthony Smith got a gilly on Petrino. Petrino is retarded. He is a retard and threw his neck out into the wee from Coach Nate. Thank you. Petrino is a retard. I think I came from musical. We love musical. Came from a musical, right? We love musical. Musical's a fucking legend. Trainers came from a guru, right? Good to see the piggies in chat. We miss our pig. I hope he's doing well. Hopefully he gets some puss this time. Because he's got to learn to talk to women. Go up to them and talk to them. Say, g'day. How you going? Do you want to hang out a bit? What are you up to today? They go, ooh, look at that. Look at your accent. You know what I'm saying? Paul's probably at... Let me read everyone's chats. Make sure I don't skip anyone. Ironic, Dougie being a moron is what led to him being so successful and probably a billionaire in the next 10 years. Ironic, Dougie. Paul being a moron is what led to him being so successful and a billionaire in the next 10 years. Ironic, Dougie. Being a moron is what led to him. Jake Paul. Did I say he was a moron? Or did I say he was a bit of a cunt? I think he plans out his career very, very cleverly. very cleverly. So good on him. Nate could do a lazy Imanari roll and Jake would be clueless what to do. Step out of it. I think I came from musical. Paul probably has better short-range punching than anyone Diaz has fought. So you might seriously hurt him with the ground and pound or just the clinch with the short punch. That's where I think the fight happens. I think the fight happens in the clinch, up against the cage, Jake Paul weighing heavy on Nate Diaz, beating the shit out of his body, kicking him to the legs. Nate Diaz trying to judo throw Paul to the ground, which Nate has got shit takedowns, but Nate knows that he wants to take it to the ground. Paul allowing Nate to take him down onto the ground, rolling on top, surfing on top with wrestling, mounting on top of him, being fucking thicker, stronger, younger, more athletic, and then just raining down heavy fucking ground and pound. I found you without the fat boy. I'm sure the one who shouted you out on the Goblin stream. Oh, thank you, not the aim, bro. I appreciate it, man. I came from randomly scrolling YouTube at 4 a.m. That's fucking awesome, Alex. That's fucking awesome. He said none in Italy looked at him, so he didn't even try and talk to them. The bro is cool. I know, dude. But you got to just walk up to him. Just tap him on the shoulder. How you going? What's up? What are you up to today? Where are you going? You want to hang out? I hate sticking up for Duck. Thank you, Nacho. I appreciate it. We came to the point where we were trying to cope Paul into... we've come to the point where we are trying to cope Paul beating a decorated MMA fighter in MMA. What's up, Cayman? How are you doing? Cayman, we've spent a lot of time this week arguing with each other over Tom Aspinall and John Jones. So, Cayman, I'm guessing you're siding with Nate Diaz. We did a poll before in chat, Cayman. This is how it came out. 68% of the chat thinks that he beats the shit. 68% of the chat thinks that Nate Diaz beat Jake Paul in an MMA fight in 2025. I vehemently disagree with the chat on this one. I think Nate Diaz just butt scoots across and then triangles Jake in a round. I believe that you guys see Jake Paul as this mid-boxer that has no wrestling and would never even think to bother doing a jiu-jitsu class to learn defensive jiu-jitsu. From what I am gathering from you, the chat here, all of you, the 68%, is that you guys are seriously underestimating Jake Paul. Any of you ladies fancy a dance? You ignored my Anthony Smith guy. Shit, Nacho, sorry. No, I didn't. Anthony Smith got a gilly on Petrino, and I called Petrino heavily retarded. I insulted him for a couple of minutes. He must have been zoned out and working. I didn't. 99% of women probably start to vomit uncomfortably once that bug-head freak starts talking to him. Imagine how bad he smells to have bugs living in the grease bucket. Fuck, dude. That's so hard. Be nice to Guru. Come on, mate. He's made a lot of content for us. Don't do that. I accidentally voted for Nate, so adjusted to 68%. Dude! No. You made your bed. I mean, MMA isn't a real sport anyway. It's just fighting. Jake is a tough dude. Young and trains hard. It might be possible. We're doing a recount. We're doing a fucking recount. We're doing a recount. Recount. Now that we've all laid our arguments out, think about it, chat, before you just click a button. And don't turn this into what happened the other day with Alex Pereira and Jamal Hill. Don't fucking do that, okay? Be serious here. This is a serious vote. The PFL are organizing it. It's an MMA fight. It's 2025. How many people are watching this stream? How many people am I looking for in the vote? And Paradox, don't even fucking sway this shit, alright, Paradox? Keep it legit. I know you. 16 people. I want to see 10 votes at least. 10 votes, and then we'll wrap it up. Alright. Let us press on with what we were actually originally talking about. What we were originally talking about while the chat does that. 10 vote. Nate Diaz, 80%. How many people are voting for this? Hang on a second. 7 votes. We need 2 more votes. Where were we? We were talking about this. What needs to change in 2025 in the UFC? Combat sports is a sport where Bob Sapp has beaten a decorated kickboxer Ernesto Hust with hungry hippo punches. Yeah, it's a sport of anything can happen. But wasn't Bob Sapp throwing fights? I'm pretty sure Bob Sapp was in rigged events. I'm pretty sure. 11 votes. Nate Diaz comes in at yes, chat. We have fuck. It's gotten worse. What's up, Super Shotgun? How are you, man? God damn it. You guys are... God fucking damn it. All right. Monday's video. No, you've done it now. Monday's video is this. Monday's video is explaining to the MMA community why and how Jake Paul beats the shit out of him in an MMA fight. All right. You guys are going to have to make me do this. I don't want to make these videos. You think I enjoy getting the amount of abuse that I get in the comments? I don't. But someone needs to talk truth. You said it right the first time. It was Bob Sapp. Blob Sapp. Later in his career when he didn't give a fuck. Oh, okay. Bob Sapp would also just go down if he wasn't winning within the first. That's what I thought it was. Do the poll again. We've done it twice, not the AM bro, and it's gotten worse and worse every time. Bob Sapp was actually in rigged events when you replace... Okay, Sniff. Calm down. Bob Sapp threw like 20 fights in the second half of his career. He was a serious problem before that when he took it serious. He was insanely juiced in the big nog fight. Oh, okay. Thank you. Every time I see Bob Sapp, I'm like... He's that first round guy that Rogan would talk about. How he would just like... get paid for one round, and then the second that first round was over, he would just throw the fight away. I'm with you, boys. All of his fights are the big nog fight. Bob Sapp was 380 with that. Hey, what's up, Miguel? How are you, dude? Who else slid in here before? Shotgun slid in here. What's up, Shotgun? How are you, man? I hope you're doing good, dude. Hope you guys are doing good. He slammed big nog on his head. Bob Sapp basically admitted he showed up for like 50K every week and gave 2 minutes of effort before he folded. He did it every week and made so much money. Yeah, this is what I thought I heard around the way. This is slimmed. This is what I thought I heard around the way, Super Shotgun. That Bob Sapp was essentially just in there to put in the show for Japanese fans. He was 6'5", 375 pounds, and all muscle. What you've described there, Cayman, is my penis. Let's press on. Bob Sapp drug test was a question. Are you on drugs? No. That was the Pride. The Pride drug test. The Pride contracts had a stipulation. Not a stipulation, but the Pride contracts had a line in it. And that line was, we will not test you for drugs. One's in chat if you want an Alexa Grasso's foot job poll. No, Yog, no. Blob Sapp was the greenest mile. What are you talking about, Snifferton? It was a numbers game for Sapp while taking minimal damage. Smart if you have zero. Not even that, dude. Like do people in the WWE have no self-respect? The people in the no, they have self-respect, but they're getting paid to put on a show. Bob Sapp just got paid to put on a show. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. Ones. We're not doing the fucking Grasso foot job poll. I don't even understand what you guys want out of this. If you want an Alexa Grasso, what do you want out of this? Like, what is the poll question even meant to be? Alexa Grasso foot job, yes or no? What kind of fucking poll is that? What are you even asking for? He had a Japanese toothbrush sponsorship, the greenest mile with the... I don't trust what Sniffer's doing here. I don't trust what Sniffer's doing here at all. You can fight 3 times a year for 50K and go to war each time. Or you can fight 30 times a year, lose every one, but earn 20K each time and makes a ton of... Yeah, it's not fucking rocket science here, mate. It's not rocket science at all. Like, I'd do that. I would 100% do that rather than be a drywaller or a plasterer. Bob Sapp picked up Big Nog like a pillow and fucked his neck up for life. Yes. I know. He was wheelchair bound forever. Didn't he pass away because of that? Pretty sure he did. Fucking hell. Chat is unhinged today. Yog always likes to slide in here at the end of a stream and fucking do this to the chat. Have you seen the Japanese shaving razor sponsorships with Wanderlei and Mark Coleman? Classic old school? I haven't, mate. RIP to Big Nog. I have not. Shall we watch one before we wrap the stream up? Are you not a man of the people? Yes, the chat. What are you asking for the poll options to be? What do you want these poll options to be, Yogathan? Like, in all honesty, mate, what are you looking for here? You just keep saying you want an Alexa Grasso foot job poll? Damn, I came in at the end. That's all right, Super Shotgun. It's going to be up live it's for you to go back and listen to, brother. It's all good, mate. It's all good. In New York. Yes or no to the question? What is the question? Alexa Grasso foot job? No, you're not having that. Wrench mate, thank you, Snifferthan. You're not becoming a mod, but I appreciate the $2, man. It means a lot. It helps grow the channel. I really appreciate it, dude. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Boys, I've been going live for an hour and I'm about to piss myself. I got to get out of here. A video is dropped. Absolutely bagging the piss out of Ian Gary. It's a classic. It's the last one for the week. But I'm out of here. Go and watch that video. I am about to go piss myself. So go watch that video. I got to hit the bathroom. Boys, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you for joining me on the stream. At the stream start, I thought it was just going to be me. But it turns out it was a great one. Once again, Yoga's pushed for an Alexa Grasso football emoji. And I was about to give him the chance. But he didn't even he didn't give me any emoji options. So, Yog was robbed. Yog was never robbed. Boys, I'm out of here. You have a good one. Have a good weekend. I will see you all on Monday or in a stream on Sunday. We'll do a nice long one on Sunday.